This week we're in Temecula. We visit Old Town Temecula. We go to another cool restaurant right by the
Presidential Library.
Hi, we're in downtown Temecula today. We're gonna walk around the area. It's kind of cool. It's got some buildings that have a historic look and feel, and it looks like a cute area. What do you think, Ann?
I think we're going to have a great time walking around.
I can already smell some good food, so who knows? Maybe we'll grab a bite to eat.
Come, run away with us to downtown Temecula.
So we went down to Old Town Temecula. It has a very historic look, even though a lot of it is new construction. They make it look a certain way, which I thought was really kind of cool. We didn't end up eating down there. We thought we were going to, but instead we just walked around. We weren't quite hungry yet. But you know, it was nice to just see the different areas. It's about 25 minutes from our campsite at Wilderness Dunes.
Wilderness Lakes.
Wilderness Lakes, thank you. But it was a nice little thing. There are wineries in that area.
There's different restaurants. There's sushi, Mexican, burgers. There's a really cool little burger place there. Yeah,
and we actually had picked out a couple of different restaurants to maybe explore, but overall we just weren't hungry, so we didn't do it. But you can see they have some really cool buildings here with the different architecture to make it look like it was still around from when the stagecoaches and the trains and everything like that. And it was just a kind of a quaint area to go to and visit. And you know, as I said, it was only a few minutes from the park, so it was a nice little day trip and didn't really take too much out of our day.
Yeah, we figured just to check it out. We didn't drink any wine. Well, I didn't drink any wine, but there were definitely enough places to go and partake if you would like.
Yeah, parallel parking on the street. If you can't parallel park, you might have to really look for a parking garage because it was tight for the parking garages. We couldn't really see any on the street, so we just did parallel parking. Not a problem for me, especially with the Jeep and the camera, but it was overall, I think, a really nice time down there.
Yeah.
We also saw that not far from our spot in Wilderness Lakes, which if you haven't stayed at that camp, it's really kind of cool. It's about an hour, a little over an hour from the outskirts of Los Angeles, so it wouldn't be too horrible of a drive to Anaheim. But for us, it worked out really great because we were able to do another presidential library.
Yeah, we went to the Richard Nixon library on this visit.
Correct, and that's in Yorba Linda, but again, it was only a little over an hour, even with traffic. Now, we didn't go during rush hours, so that definitely helped, but it wasn't too far of a drive.
Google took us on a back road, so I think he actually got there in less than an hour.
I think so, yeah, it was good. So this is the outside of the Presidential Library. It had a lot of interactive exhibits. I thought it was really great that they had a lot of like mock-ups of certain rooms. It was definitely different than the LBJ, which was what we had been to previously.
Right.
This was our second presidential library, and
they didn't allow selfie sticks. So they knew we had one, and they said you can't film with it. You can still film with your camera, but with no selfie stick.
So if any of this image is shaky, I apologize. It's just me holding the camera. But it really showed him running for different elections from when he was a candidate for vice president, as well as later on as president. And it was a lot of history. It showed the whole thing. This is an absolute 100% mock-up of the Oval Office. It's a little different than the other Oval Offices we've gotten to see because you actually can walk through it at the desk. You can sit at the desk even. You can see how big the room is, how imposing it looks. And it's a replica of the desk he used when he was in the Senate, that he used when he was vice president. It's not the actual desk, it's obviously a recreation, but it's not the Resolute desk that was in the Oval Office for him. But still, it was really amazing to be able to, that's as close as I'm going to get to being in the actual, walking through the Oval Office in my lifetime.
Oh yeah, it was really cool. On Instagram, I posted a couple pictures of Drew sitting in front of the desk, so that was one of
I think I even
things he
pretended
enjoyed.
To grab the phone. Make a quick call.
But there is definitely a lot of history in this museum. We were, very happy to go through and just see all the different things that were going on at that time. You kind of forget until you go in there and you're like, oh yeah, that was going on during this time.
Yeah, so we're going to walk a little bit through the next sections, which dealt with different things that happened during his presidency and from the beginning all the way through toward the end.
Yes. Something we noticed that was different from the LBJ Museum is we went outside after touring inside the museum and went to the reflections pool.
Yeah, so this is a reflection pool that leads all the way up to his birth house.
And there's the gardens.
Yeah, the gardens for the First Lady, where she had a lot of rose gardens. Obviously, at the time of year we were there wasn't any roses in bloom.
Little
but
dormant.
it's, yeah, and then it goes right to their graves, which I thought was fantastic that they're buried right there. You know, a couple of 100 yards from where he was born.
Right.
They have the exact house exactly where it was when Nixon was born. He was actually born in that house that his father built in the area, and they built the library around it. It was great to see a lot of the period pieces, furniture, and the stove, and where they took baths and everything. Really amazing that it's still standing and perfect. And
amazing that people are allowed to still go in there and get a tour of the house.
And do you remember the story that we learned while we were there about the house?
Oh, you go ahead, you tell the story, because he tells it so well.
That means she doesn't remember. So the house was built, you'll see it how it was. They asked him when they were building the museum and the library around it on the land whether they wanted to pick up the house and turn it so that it faced the reflection pool, so that the front door would have faced the reflection pool. And he said no. The president said, or at the time former president said, keep it the way my father built it. I don't care that the reflection pool faces the back of the house. He was okay with that. And I thought it was really, you know, a nice nod to his father.
Right.
And his history of his family, that just to leave it the way it was.
Exactly.
They had a full mock-up of the mansion East Room, which was really great. The reason they had it was that he, as president, would go down to the East Room and just sit at the piano and play the piano. He wasn't someone who slept a lot. He would sit in the Lincoln sitting room taking notes, or go down to the mansion and just kind of fiddle around on the piano. So they have a 2-scale section of the East Room, and it was kind of cool to see where they would have, you know, different functions and ball rooms and stuff like that.
It's a beautiful room for sure.
And then outside the East Room, just down the hall, they had a special exhibit. Now, at every presidential library we've been to so far is that they have a special exhibit at the function. At LBJ was obviously the history of Motown, and we got to see all those different Motown items. So if you want to see that episode, just hit that link up there. But this one had about the Apollo 11 moon landing.
Yeah.
And it was really fantastic to see different artifacts that they had, everything from the space capsule and the lunar landing recreation. And, you know, I thought it was pretty cool. They even had a VR set that
you could try it.
You could try it to pretend like you were on the moon landing. There was a young lady ahead of us who was having a little problem letting go of the ladder. It's that realistic, I guess, with the VR, so she was not willing to let go of the ladder and explore the moon. And then there was another person behind them, so we thought this could take a while. So we moved on, and we stumbled onto something even better. Right around the corner was the recreation of the cabinet room, which would have been in the West Wing. So you got to see kind of how they sit around the large conference table with all the different secretaries and have a cabinet meeting, which I thought was fantastic.
Yeah.
Hey everybody.
Hey everybody.
Today
we
went to the Richard Nixon Presidential Library and Museum.
It's also the place where birthplace house is. So it's the house hasn't been moved. It's where that house actually was when he was growing up, and they built the library on the same land.
Yep.
They asked him if they wanted to have it moved around so that the house faced the museum. He said no, I'll leave it how my father built it, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
You also got to see one of the helicopters that he used, Gerald Ford used, Carter
Kennedy
and LBJ all used as their Marine One when they were on board. So it was kind of nice to walk through. You couldn't do any photography on the inside, and it wouldn't have mattered because I could barely stand in it anyways. It was short.
Yeah, it really was short. Even I could barely stand in there. So for this guy, whew, that'd be rough.
But this is our second presidential library and museum.
Yep.
9 more to go. 9, 10, 11, no. Is there 11 or 13? Doesn't matter how many more to go. Plenty more to go. We're excited for them. We're going to hit another one in the next few weeks. And this one was different than the LBJ one. I thought it was fantastic with all the replicas and all the history. But just overall, it was just much more property. And
Drew could actually sit at the actual desk in the replica of the White House room.
Yeah, and you saw that a little bit earlier. So not me sitting there, but the Oval Office. So thank you so much for coming with us on this journey, and let's head to the next spot.
Perfect. Let's go.
After we toured the museum, we were starving.
Yes, we spent quite a few hours at the museum.
And I found a place for us to eat. We kind of both felt like pizza might be a good choice. And we found this place, Eureka Pizza. Yeah,
family-owned area pizza. And it was family-owned pizza place. And it was great. It had different little things. We didn't actually feel like pizza as much as Italian. Right. They have their own homemade meatballs, and they have baked chicken wings. So we kind of decided to split a little meal there at Eureka Pizza. It was definitely in between lunch and dinner, so we always hit it kind of perfect on timing, which we like. And this was the chicken wings. They were delicious. Had like a light barbecue sauce with their own homemade ranch. Really tasty, very big and meaty, and they had a lot. And then this was the meatball parm hero.
Came with some fries and those meatballs, good size. But
it was had a nice sauce, had some peppers in the sauce, and then the cheese was really kind of held to the meatballs. So it was a nice sandwich. Convenience of it right around the corner from the Presidential Library. So if you go there, I would highly recommend going to this place.
Oh, definitely, for sure.
For sure. So overall, I thought Temecula was a great stop. The Thousand Trails Wilderness Lakes, did I say it right that time?
Wilderness Lakes.
Good. Was comfortable. It was a lot of 30 amp spots. I know they have kind of like a river going through it that they were dredging right after we left, so we hit that at the right time, thankfully.
And it's in this time of year, even though we usually like to have 50 amp, 30 amp, no problem, no issues when we were there. It is one of those first come, first serve places as well. But overall, it was great. A lot of places to walk Jimmy, which was really nice. And it's the one thing that's odd with Wilderness Lakes is it's kind of smack down right in between brand new housing areas.
It's in a neighborhood, which was interesting. So, but very convenient to grocery stores because of it.
Right.
We want to thank you for watching this episode. We love going to these different cities. And if they want to watch more, what should they do?
They should definitely subscribe
to
our channel, which is right here.
There you go.
If they want to get notified for more episodes,
they can hit the bell.
Here. They can hit the bell. If you like our video, give it a thumbs up in the middle. And if you'd like to make a comment or let us know things we can do,
right down below.
So,
thank you so much for watching. We hope you are excited for all these episodes. We
appreciate everyone that has subscribed with us already.
Absolutely.
And we're hoping to push more great, wonderful content each week.
You bet. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.